everyone, and welcome to another
What
episode of Black and Baptist on ATS TV.
Hello.
Whoop, whoop.
Hello.
Okay, so today, I've heard so much about this, so I'm going to ask Grace questions about who has the fellowship hall today.
Okay.
Grace, what is it about the fellowship hall in the Black Baptist Church?
You do so much in the fellowship hall, okay? The main thing you do in the fellowship hall is eat, okay? That's the main thing in the Baptist church. Please know, okay? When they say refreshments will be served, you're going to the fellowship hall to go get the refreshments or dinner, okay? We're going to have an episode about that too. Don't worry about it, okay? Other things that happen in the fellowship hall. Certain times, Sunday school can happen in the fellowship hall. You may not have a lot of rooms in church when Sunday school is going on, and so a fellowship hall can be used for a class to be taught. Bible study can go on in the fellowship hall. A lot of times, you don't go in the sanctuary, you don't go in church for Bible study. Church meetings happen in the fellowship hall. Okay, receptions happen in the fellowship hall.
Yep.
A number of things can happen in the fellowship hall.
Passover meals.
Okay.
Is it called Passover?
No.
Not the Passover.
What are you talking about?
After the funeral.
Oh, repast. Yeah, yes, the repast.
Not the Passover, but the repast.
The repast. Repast. Repast happens in the fellowship hall. It's like Passover. What's she talking about? It's all right.
Okay, so what happens when the fellowship hall is double booked?
Ooh, okay. Well, hopefully ahead of time you find out that it's double booked because, Okay. Now, most times, even if it is double booked, it won't be double booked at the same time unless it's something on a Saturday. Now, most of the time, Saturdays are set aside for funerals, but there are some times when you have, it's not like sometimes conferences, when you do have conferences at church, sometimes the conferences can be held in the fellowship hall because if it's going to be a small, intimate setting, you're not going to a big sanctuary. Right. You're going to stay, you'll stay in the fellowship hall. I know my church sometimes has, what do they call them? It's like a brunch, but it's a conference and a brunch mixed together. And I cannot remember the word that it's called that we have. It's special programs that will happen.
I can't even think of it myself.
That will happen that people have on a Saturday. And, it could be, example, when we have our annual Women's Day in a certain month, well, before the Women's Day, there's a little conference. There's a conference before, like the Saturday before Women's Day on Sunday. And so that would be held in the fellowship hall sometimes. Sometimes had in sanctuary, sometimes have in the fellowship hall. And so things like that, can happen. But yeah, I've never seen it to where it was double booked. And even if it is, like I say, it'll be at different times. So you just got to make sure, whatever time it is, whoever has it first, you make sure everything is ready and prepared for who has it next, cleaned up and everything like that.
Awesome. Okay, so my next question is, what stories have you heard about the fellowship hall? Because there's like, I've heard where, like, in the morning, sometimes they're preparing breakfast and,
yes,
certain people are like, well, no, I'm working the fellowship hall today. And the other person's like, well, no, I'm working the fellowship hall today. Like, what stories have you heard?
I don't think I've heard any stories. I know there have been, so in times when we've had stuff in the fellowship hall, funny stuff can happen. I remember a lot of times we've had youth meetings will happen in the fellowship hall, okay? Because it's during the week. And when I was growing up, there was one time, I forgot what we were having, but somebody was speaking. We was in the fellowship hall. I had my head down. I was a little tired or whatever. All of a sudden, I feel this pop on the back of my head. You already know who that was.
Oh. The infamous HT.
My mama. You don't put your head down.
You don't cross HT.
You do not put your head down. Even if it wasn't her. Somebody's mama. Okay? If you got your head down, and it's during whatever somebody's speaking, and because whoever's speaking is talking about the Lord, so you need to be up and alert. Okay, so if you have your head down, just expect something to come across your head from a parent. Hey, get up.
Man, I remember those days. Or you get that pinch on your thigh.
That's it. Oh, okay.
Or under your arm.
Okay. You know what else happens in the fellowship hall? Lock-ins. Church lock-ins. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I remember. Oh,
so
snap.
the fellowship hall is the
Sleepovers.
the center. Yeah. And so you have rooms in the other parts of the church to where when they have Sunday school classes and stuff. So the fellowship hall is the hub. So, where, people can bring game consoles, you play other games, you eat there and all there because, you're not taking all that up, in the room, whatever. You go to the room, you go to sleep. So, but yeah. So that happens. My goodness.
All right.
How about you?
So I have, let me see. I've heard of there being like confusion in the fellowship hall because somebody's supposed to work the fellowship hall that day, but they got the schedules confused. So now they're in there. The women are in there going back and forth because, no, I'm running the church hall. I'm running the fellowship hall today. But like, no, I have the fellowship hall today. No, I'm running. And so I've heard that story before. We used to have our lock-ins in our fellowship hall, but before I ran into the Baptist practice.
Come on and run in.
We had our lock-ins were like literal sleepovers that you'd have at somebody's house. So we were playing like dominoes, spades. That's it. Tug of war. We had a pretty big fellowship hall.
You did tug of war. Good Lord! All right, y'all did a big fellowship hall.
Yeah, we had a pretty nice house because it used to be a school, so our fellowship hall was the cafeteria.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And so tug of war. So we had quite a few times. We never had the confusion of who. Well, for me. We never had anything. We never had the discussion about who has a fellowship hall today because my mom was over the, what do they call it? Ministry, the serving ministry.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, thank you, because I can't think of the actual politically correct word for it. Hospitality. That's it. She's over the hospitality ministry. So no matter what happened, she ran the hospitality ministry, which means she was over the fellowship hall.
Right.
So if somebody was having an event, after they had to go into a meeting with the pastor, the pastor's wife, and my mama.
Oh, Lord.
So, because my mom was the one who did everything. She did the decorating. She made sure all the food was taken care of. So when she made sure it was clean before, cleaned after, made sure, so her being the head of hospitality, of course, I was an employee of the hospitality.
Not an employee.
I was an employee because children don't volunteer for hospitality.
No. No.
Shoot.
Come on, you coming with me? We got to get this fellowship hall together. Okay.
And she would have the adults, but ultimately it was me who carried in and carried out.
That's it.
And until one of the men saw me, and then I got fussed at for carrying in and carrying out. Then it was, when you get here, let us know so we can carry in and carry out.
That's it.
That's the church I was in. The girls and the women didn't touch stuff. Yeah. I was just the hard-headed one. But anyways, that's the story for another day. But yeah, for me, whoever had the fellowship hall, I was still there regardless. Mm-hmm. And lock-ins was like, shoo, that was like going to a party at school for us. Yeah, because we had a huge youth group. We was a pretty nice sized church. You know what I'm saying? And then we all got grown.
That's it.
But yeah, so what other stories do you have about the fellowship hall?
Really, just whenever somebody has, is having an event in the fellowship hall, if you get there early and the people that's supposed to be there is not there to help set up, yeah, you're going to hear about it. Sister so-and-so, no, she needs to be here. Yeah. Oh, yes. So-and-so, no, they said they was going to be here. And they show up in time for the event to start. Wait a minute, ma'am. Wait a minute, sir.
Yeah, no, my mom was over hospitality, so I literally lived at the church. You know what? The fellowship hall was also a sleeping place for me. It was a place to lay my head.
That's it.
To rest.
That's it.
On one of the classes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us for another episode of Black and Baptist on ATS TV. We will see you at the top, but not from the top.
That's it. And as they always say, to God be the glory.
To God be the glory.
See y'all next time.
Thank you so much for watching this video. It's not just me, Deaunna, behind the camera. Will you show these folks? There's Grace. There's Monica. There's Deaunna. Here, give it to me. There's Deaunna. Now your face looking a little skinnier. You had it all close to your face. Listen, it's not just me. It's a lot of us. And we need you to go to Patreon. We need you to go to Patreon, and so I can continue to create salaries for people. We're starting, Oprah Winfrey Network, Tyler Perry Studios, CNN Network, give me another one, ABC, CBS, TNT. Y'all get the point, right? Now, this is important. Grace, before people go, tell them why they should go to Patreon. Go ahead, tell them.
You should go to Patreon, because if you love all of the videos that you see Antonio doing and that he's producing and creating, why not support that so he can keep that going?
All right, get them out. Tell them.
You should go to Patreon, because behind the scenes there's a lot that gets done that a lot of people don't realize. We need all this stuff for more cloud space, because there's millions of hours of content that's about to get released. So go to Patreon, support, and wait for the results.
There it is. If you don't go to Patreon, they all gonna die. They're gonna die tonight. You just killed them. You gonna do that? You gonna let them die? They dead. She just died just now. She can't even see it. She just died. Little kid in here just died. Everybody dead because you ain't go to Patreon. Go on with Patreon. Save their lives. Give $1. Please.